what's up, guys? Jay here with another entry into my thoughts on Brian DePalma film series, and I want to discuss the movie 1993's Carlito's Way, which stars Al Pacino as Carlito, Sean Penn, Penelope Ann Miller, Luis Guzman, Viggo Mortensen, and John Leguizamo. Now, Carlito's Way is the story of a man who, after 5 years on a 30-year stretch, he gets out of prison because of some, you know, illegal stuff that was done as far as his sentencing went. So Carlito is released from jail. He gets out and wants to basically have a fresh start at life, and he wants to be on the straight and narrow from the time he gets out. Um, and from there, it's like throughout the movie, his demons, well, not really demons, but his past life is kind of conflicting with his present life, is where the old ways and the old, people from the old days are trying to lure him back in, but he's doing his damnedest to stay on the straight path because he wants to stay away from that life. That life got him nothing but excuse me, got him nothing but a 30-year sentence in prison. So he plans to, do right and basically sail off into the sunset. But of course, when you lead a life of crime and everything, those old things kind of come back to haunt you, and other things ensue. One thing that I really liked about Carlito's Way is, number one, it's a better told story than Scarface. I know I probably got a lot of flack, and a lot of people probably didn't like my last video where I talked about Scarface. Not so much the movie, but just the whole my feelings on the whole movie and everything. If anyone who hasn't seen it, take a look at that video, and it explains itself, really. But I'm here to talk about Carlito's Way in this video. But harking back to its comparisons with Scarface is, well, number one, you got Brian De Palma's directing, Al Pacino is starring, and that's pretty much the only comparisons that I could really come to. Oh, and also, of course, the whole drug thing. But whereas Scarface is more of a ultra violent, over the top kind of movie, Carlito's Way is more of a realistic tale and something that you can actually see happening to maybe somebody that you know, or actually could be actually someone's real life story in a way. Al Pacino does a great job as Carlito, even though I'm still kind of confused on exactly how old Carlito is supposed to be in this movie, and but that's more so because Al Pacino is playing the part and everything. I know he's supposed to be, I think he's supposed to be at least in his 30s, if I'm mistaken or not. I don't know. I never read the book or anything that the movie is based off of, so I don't really know. But I have seen the sequel and everything. But I'll talk about that later. But like I said, I'm not too sure exactly how old he's supposed to be in the movie. Like I said, I'm thinking, you know, early to mid 30s at least. But I know they probably changed that around since Al Pacino was starring in the movie, and because in real life Al Pacino was a lot older. But he gives a great performance in this movie, and the person who I feel that really stole the movie in this, and that's saying a lot when Al Pacino was in the movie, Sean Penn's character, as the lawyer, David Kleinfeld. There he is right there. And if you really look, you can't even tell that that's Sean Penn. He kind of almost looked like a young Robert Englund back from his V days, if anyone remember what he looks like. He kind of looks like that in a way, but Sean Penn, he gives a great performance as well as the kind of overboard. In a lot of ways, to be honest, just thinking about it, in some ways, his character is kind of should have been in Scarface. If you think about how over the top and big, larger than life he tries to be in this movie. I don't know if that's what they was going for or anything, but it was an interesting take considering the fact that his character is a lawyer, and all the seedy stuff that he did throughout the movie, which was kind of like crazy. But like I said, there's great performances all around. Like I said, Al Pacino, Sean Penn, um, Luis Guzman, who plays like a he's like a I don't know exactly who he's supposed to be exactly like a he's one of those guys that well Luis Guzman is a great actor, but in this movie his character is kind of he's one of those guys who will you know put his allegiance with just about anybody. It doesn't matter who he messes over or whatever, but he will put his allegiance with anybody. And he'll stay face, trying to be like, oh yeah, I'm your friend, but then behind your back he's like, I hate this so and so, yeah, type of thing. But he does it in a great way. Um, but on to speaking about Brian De Palma and the film itself. De Palma's directing this movie, I think, is a lot better than Scarface. I got to keep harkening back to Scarface because Carlito's Way. The fact that they put across on the DVD cover here from the director of Scarface, which a lot of times when they do that with movies, they try to is basically saying that they're comparing it to that movie. So I'm gonna keep comparing it to Scarface. I believe his directed in this movie is a lot better, especially the last good the 30 minutes of the film from that whole chase that ensues and everything. It, I I always believed that this movie that it was those were single one take shots, but after watching, I think there are cuts. I don't know. I probably have to watch it again to see to really tell if there are cuts in certain places in those supposedly one shot takes. But if they are, they hide them very well in the editing. If they're not, they're just some great one takes that they did with the way the camera's panning back and forth and following Al Pacino as he's trying to elude the bad guys in the end. Um, there are a lot of great, the cinematography is good. Actually, I wonder who was the cinematographer in this movie. Let's see. Who cinematographers? Stephen Burham. Never heard of him, but I mean the DP in this, like I say, director of photography does some has some great the way they set up scenes and the directing and everything. It's just very masterful done. I mean, because I'm very big into stuff like that, so in a movie like this, it really showcases a lot. And also, the movie take place in 1975, and when you look at it, you think at the time, I mean, present day. I mean, of course, the movie came out in '93, but it almost has that look of the mid to late '70s with the whole disco era and the suits and the cars and all that stuff, and it just an all around great, you know, has a great atmosphere to it and everything. Like I said, I really really enjoyed this movie, and Al Pacino, I think, he's one of the best actors around. I mean, this is still back when he was actually acting, opposed to doing his over the topness that he kind of started doing a lot later. I think actually that starts after Carlito's Way. Well, actually, it started. Actually, he kind of does it in what's the movie? Son of a Woman. I couldn't even think of it. The movie he did before this, Son of a Woman. Matter of fact, he kind of hams it up a little bit in Son of a Woman, but at the same time it's understandable. But I think for me that's where it starts, and then after Carlito's Way, it's like once he gets older, and I don't know, that kind of becomes his thing or whatever. I don't know, but in this movie he gives a great subtle, you know, realistic performance, and I think he even should have got even a nomination for this movie. I don't know if he did or not. I have to look it up and see. But also Sean Penn should have got a nomination too as for best supporting actor. But one thing I take away from this movie is that the relationships in this movie are very complex. Not only a relationship between him and his girlfriend, played by Penelope Ann Miller, which is a they have good chemistry together, and the playfulness and everything, the back and forth between them is a realistic relationship in most cases. Um, but the relationship he has with Sean Penn is a very up and down and complex relationship where this man was his best friend, his who he even calls his brother. He said this man is my brother and everything, but then this is the same person that is trying to bring is well one of the people that's trying to bring him down in this movie. And then the whole thing with Luis Guzman character, he's the same way he falls in line with the Sean Penn characters and all that. You know, the whole double crossing, triple crossing, even in some cases. I mean, it's just very well put together, and I said I really enjoyed this movie. It's one of my favorites of DePalma's. It's one of my favorites of Al Pacino's. And for anyone who has not seen the movie, it's highly recommended that you watch Carlito's Way. And I'm not just saying that because of my feelings for Scarface, but I'm just saying as a movie, anyone who enjoys movies, and everything like that, just I cannot gush about this movie anymore, really. But well, one last thing I want to talk about as far as the movie goes, the way they open the movie with showing, and like I say, for anyone who hasn't seen it, it's kind of a spoiler, but at the same time, it's not because it's in the beginning of the movie. The fact that they show Al Pacino's character being shot, I thought that was kind of a ballsy thing to do. To open the movie with your main character getting shot or whatever. I mean, kind of remind me a lot of the older film Point Blank with Lee Marvin, where his character gets shot down in the beginning of the movie. Kind of well, also in the remake, which is called Payback with Mel Gibson. The same thing kind of happened. It starts out with him basically laying dead on the slab in a way. But I thought it was kind of ballsy to start the movie off where the main character gets shot and basically is dying, and the movie itself could be considered one big giant flashback if you think about it. And even though the movie is almost clocks in at 2 hours and 30 minutes, I mean it kind of feel like it just goes by because you get so engrossed in the story and the scenery, the whole New York scene at that time and everything. And then when it gets to the end and you're thinking that he's gonna get away, and it comes back to wait a minute, don't forget how we started the movie and with him getting shot down again. I mean, it kind of in a way it's almost kind of sad. And I know I said in another video I was talking about the ending to Heat, where I was sad at the way that movie ends with Robert De Niro getting shot down, ironically enough, by Al Pacino. In this movie, when Al Pacino gets shot down, um, it's not quite on Heat's level as far as the ending go, but it's right up there. I guess the music doesn't really do it, but also that song, the music. Yeah, let me talk about the music real quick. The music in this movie is great. I mean, there's some great songs in this movie that's played throughout the movie. But one song that sticks out in my mind that really is very important in this movie is the OJ's "Backstabber" song, which plays in certain scenes when it's talking about certain people stabbing Carlito in the back. And when you listen to the music, when that song is playing, it's like they just put it in there gracefully, like they're talking about certain person, stabbing Carlito in the back, but then you got the song Backstabbers playing in the background. But the movie just has a great soundtrack and everything like that. Once again, like I say, I highly recommend watching it for anyone who has not seen it. And that's pretty much it. I mean, Carlito's Way, Brian De Palma's 1993 film. So I'll see you guys in the next video where I'll be talking about his 1996 movie Mission Impossible, which I have not watched in a while. So like I say, thank you guys for watching, and comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on the movie Carlito's Way, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.